All right. I want to hear.
You want to hear the tale, dude?
Yeah, I've never really heard your tale.
Dude.
Now, we don't have to.
Go into whatever. You can check my balance sheet. It's negative. I got robbed pretty much every single time. But, so.
You broke bad.
I broke bad about it. 18, dude. Broke bad at about 18 years old, dude. Someone I knew, I'm not going to obviously put them on blast, but someone I knew, part of my original Fast and Furious squad, got their hands on like a quarter pound of weed. Like, we were youngins, dude.
Yeah.
Youngins, dude.
Sure.
High schoolers.
Yeah.
Dare I say.
Yeah.
And, I remember it was like, I liked weed at the time. So I remember seeing like a lot of it and being like,
that's tight.
I want that.
Yeah.
So, I waited. I plotted my course. I bought weed like a couple times. I bought like Ace off this guy. And, at the time, again, I was a petty day laborer. So I was like, I can't be spending like, I used to get paid $60 a day. So $40 for an eighth back then. I was like, I can't it's too much. So, got a little ounce, split it with the first scheme.
Both the dopers just now had to be like, what the hell is he talking about?
That's how it was.
You dopers buying weed.
But yeah, I remember like, this is too expensive. So I was like, well, if I just split an ounce with my friends, I'll just keep the remainder for free. That's the old trap, dude. So I was like, hey, you guys want some weed? Like, I'd like some weed. No, would you like? Everyone I know was like, I'd like some weed. I was like,
of course.
I'll get it for us. Got an ounce. Ended up getting, my portion for free and being like, well, that sure was nice.
Yeah.
So then in the summer of like 18 years old, going on, or I turned, I'm an Aquarius, so I'm a winter baby. But it was like that around 18, 19. I remember I was like, someone told me like, dude, I can get you a half pound of weed for $1,600. So I had my summer job. I was working for a builder and electrician. So I saved up $1,600. I was the only one of my friends who could, save my fucking money like that.
Yeah.
Part of my squad. My squad could not hold on to money at all. So I saved it up for hard work. I remember bought like a half pound of weed.
Yeah.
And we just started trapping, bro. We just started fucking trapping.
From then on, it was just Trap City.
19 years old, bro. I had the fucking HP. Lordin', dude.
Yeah.
My buddy's apartment complex. It was just sick.
That is sick.
Yeah. So then I, so that kind of started to spiral where like.
Now, how do you sell it? Like, do you just to your friends? You're like.
That's what it does. That's how it starts out. You start selling weed to your friends, and then it's like.
And then they're like, hey,
their buddy calls you, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And then
are you doing like drop, like you just drive over to their house and like, here you go?
First, or I used to just trap this apartment out. I was just sitting. I didn't live there, so I would just go there.
That's a job.
Smoke everyone down, obviously, so they're cool with it, and you trap out their apartment.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, whatever, this rules. Then you put them on. You started getting minions.
Then they're your
dude.
lieutenants.
You start getting minions.
Yeah. Those are your capos.
And then they start betraying each other and stuff.
Yeah.
My minions were riddled with drug addiction too, which wasn't good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember I like
minions just you gotta keep them fed on fucking pills.
Yeah, you're like, look, Mins, you guys got to get an apartment, and I'm going to fucking sully it with fucking a just ridiculous thing. But I remember, like, slowly it was like, and this would be, like, periods that would go on, and, it would all kind of crumble every now and again. But I remember I like, you start, it's so funny because then you start meeting other people, like, oh, I know this guy who does it, I don't know. So then I, like, linked up with this one dude, I forget his name, it might have been Ash, I forget, it was like a Pokemon trainer name, some weird name.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, he's like, I can get you pounds of weed for like cheap, basically what you're paying for a half one. And I'm like, well, that'd be sick. So then we drive to this dude's house. Not this dude's house. We met these dudes up in like way up in West Philly, like up in like the 60th Street, like way out there.
Yeah.
And this dude who I thought was chill. On the way home, I was like, everything's looking good. He was like, yo, I didn't realize he had bought heroin off this guy as well. So like I went up there, I got myself I'm like, sweet, I got a pound of weed now. Yeah. Things are looking good. And that guy had unknowingly to me bought like 4 or 5 bags of heroin. Ooh. So we just started like snorting heroin on the way home.
Holy
while we're driving.
Shit.
I'm just a youngster, dude. I always like figured it was coke. So then like I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey man, whatever, dude. You did me a solid if you want to, snort. If
you want to snort a bunch of heroin,
snort something off the dashboard of my Ford Contour. I'm like, knock yourself out, brother.
By all means.
So then he dropped it. I saw him go to his he had a wife at the time, or girlfriend. He dropped a couple of those little things to her. She was pregnant, bro. And then I started noticing this dude's body language. I'm like, this guy's not on coke. He's on fucking heroin.
Wow.
Yeah, so I fucking cut him out. I was like, dude, you're bad for business.
That
dude.
is bad for business.
So then I kept meeting with this fucking dude who was like, I didn't really know anything about him. But he would give me I would get these like pounds of these like shitty middies and then sell them to kids from Penn State and just mark them up for like $500
Yeah.
each one. Dude, now you're 18 years old.
Fuck those pedophiles.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Dude, you're 18 making $500 in like a day. I would call my closest boy and I'd be like, yo, we're going to spend $500 at show and tell. It would instantly spend all the profit at strip clubs. I'm like, yo, bro.
Awesome.
I was like, at the time, I was like, we're splitting everything. Yeah, obviously, because I'm, whatever. So I was like, let's hit show. So we would do it was like once a week. I would go make $500 off these Penn State dudes, and we would just ball out at show and tell, dude. As like just youngsters, dude. It was so fucking funny. And then this guy, the dude out there, the fucking like the heroin guy set me up with. They're like heroin dealers. So I know this now, so I'm a little nervous about that. And then they kept shorting the. Like,
would you get like scared when you would go to these deals or like nervous?
I was just more excited. I'd be like, it was kind of an adrenaline rush.
Sure.
So I was just like buzzing around. And that was something I had to learn later on. Like I had like that whole thing of like judging situations as risky. That was just off. It wasn't on in my head. I would just go like that was the guy pulled a gun on me, and then a week later I was at his house, being like, "Let's let bygones be bygones." Yeah.
Your attempted murder. That's all right.
I think he was shaking me down. He was seeing. I think he was just testing me. But so this guy kept shorting me, man. He kept like I would open up and it'd be like, dude, this thing's a half ounce short. There's like 2 ounces of shake. The guy's like, oh, I'll get you on the next one. He was playing me, bro. He was playing the kid. So I was just like, I scurried around. I found someone else and I was just like, yo, dude. I called him the one night. I was all drunk, probably like fucked up. Called him up and I was just like, yo, dude. He's like,
fuck with me?
I'm not gonna. I was like, we can't do this anymore. He's like, why? And I was like, fucking around, dude. You're young. He had an older brother. There was 2 of them. They had the same name. I don't want to say their names.
Yeah, don't say.
They had the same name. They had like this nickname up in West Philly. There was Little nickname and there was Big nickname.
Yeah.
He had an older brother. I was dealing with the Little.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro,
we gotta black you out for this.
You might have talking.
So I got hammered and called him, and I was like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm just done with it. All right, you're fucking with me.
I'm over it." But yeah, I was like drunk, being like, "You're young, dude. Your older brother probably knows a little more about this. You're kind of like, one of those little brothers that I was just talking shit to this guy, like fucking heroin dealer from West Philly. I'm like, you're that like little brother that tags along, just
holy shit,
fucking with this guy. And he's like, all right, man, all right. Okay, all right, Matt. That's what black dudes in West Philly always call me. All right, Matt. I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, man. Whatever, dude. It is what it is. And then I was like, I didn't even think. I was like, we're about to hit show and tell. I'm like, oh, let's go show and tell. So then he, and this is, whatever. Bunch of other stuff happened. Years later, I was sitting on a toilet reading the newspaper. I think I talked about this before. I'm reading the news, and it was like the dude's name is in the paper for fucking running through a police blockade. And like police cars were there to stop him, and he drove through it and I think he eventually got arrested.
Yeah.
But before that, like a month after I kind of told him off, he called me and he almost sweet dealed me, where he was like, "Yo, dude, everything's super cheap right now. You got to come up here right now." And he, and I was just kind of like, something's fishy.
Yeah.
He was gonna fuck me up, dude.
Yeah.
And then then you read later, this is a dude who blasted through a police barricade. His brother got caught in the airport. His brother was doing like weird like airport schemes where he was like literally like when rappers talk about like taping shit to women and stuff.
Sure.
He was doing that. So he'd have hoes, and one of his hoes bucked loose on him, strapped full of drugs. She was mad. I guess he was fucking around or whatever. Strapped full of drugs, started screaming in the airport like, "I have drugs on me. Fuck this guy's making me transport drugs." His brother went down like that in the airport.
Oh
and
my
then his
God.
little brother fucking tried to GTA through police things.
Damn.
Dude,
They would have cut your head off.
These dudes would have shot me, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Dude, they have dogs now at the airport. Have you seen this?
Oh, I've seen those dogs.
No, but like when you have to, that was the screening. You'd walk through a room and one guy would just have a dog follow you through the room.
What?
Yeah, they were like trying it out at LaGuardia when I was there.
For
just maybe a new way to do this.
Damn, I've seen the dogs.
The dogs usually just sit there and the guy holds them, but they were like actively following people around. And everybody was in line, and you had to walk through this one room where it was just a dog. And the dog would follow you and like jump up near you. It was crazy.
Damn,
Yeah,
dude.
anyway, sorry.
No, that was
I just forgot about that. That was a nice thing. I was excited about it.
You're not allowed to pet them.
Definitely not.
Not allowed to pet them. That's so hard, dude. See them, it's like...
They're handsome.
It's like, what if I don't have any bombs?
Honorable dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well-trained.
Well-trained, honorable dogs.
No, they're good boys, dude. But, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. That was just like one little... Because when you're doing that, you have all these weird relationships with like just absolute psychos.
Yeah.
And that's just like the end of one of those vines. And then you just meet some other guy and it's just like... what the fuck? Like, dude, the one guy I was talking to, he's like a 40-year-old landscaper. He would just be like, yeah, I was hanging out with a pimp last night. I'm like, what?
Why?
What the fuck are you doing? He's like, yeah, come on. It's like, all right, dude.
I just watched that
a lot of fucked up stuff.
Iceberg Slim. You remember that book you read?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Iceberg?
Pimp, Story of My Life. It's awesome.
There's a documentary about
Not saying My Life. I'm saying that's the name of the title.
Yeah. There's a documentary about it. Pimp, Story of My Life.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. But the documentary really glorifies this guy.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, he's just a smart, cool motherfucker.
Smooth talker.
And it was like, he also beat the fuck out of women often.
He whipped them with a clothes hanger. The first trick.
Not saying he's not smart, but
yeah, apparently he had the highest IQ. They tested him for IQ, and he had like Einstein level 160.
Did he write that?
It's his autobiography, yeah. Dude, I don't know his scheme for getting when you're a chili pimp.
Yeah.
When you have one hoe, his scheme for getting more hoes, that's 160 IQ level shit.
Sure.
Dude, it was pretty fucking good.
What was it?
He was writing himself fake letters from different hoes that didn't exist. He was convincing his one hoe that he had other hoes out of state who were just killing it for him.
Yeah.
And then he'd get a letter and be like, bitch, you're not making... And he was wiring himself the money the first one would make. So he would get all the money from her and then wire it back to himself. Yeah. Like, look at all this money coming in, you worthless bitch. So he would take what she would make in a month and be like, this bitch sent it to me for one... Yeah. This was 1 week's worth of shit. That got his bitch to humping harder. And then if they stepped out of line, he would take a clothes hanger and unwire it and just whip the shit out of him, man. Yeah. He was fucked up.
I like how he got his nickname.
But because he was fucking shooting coke all the time.
Yeah, he was high as fuck on coke, and somebody shot him in the head, and it just went through his hat, and he didn't move. It was in a bar, and there was like a gunfight, and a bullet went through his hat. And somebody was like, man, you cold as hell. You didn't care at all. He's like, nah, I was probably on cocaine at this point. Just a guy wildly on, like, as high as you can get, got shot in the head, and was just like, what's everybody talking about?
He was slamming coke.
Yeah.
One of his mentors, dude, his pimp, that book is so fucking good, dude. He had pimp mentors where he was like using one mentor to get to the other guy who was like the real deal. But the one mentor was shooting heroin. He was like, I like to shoot the coke because it made me cold. He would get like super cold and then just be cold as shit to his bitches, dude.
He's cold as ice.
So cold.
You need to be cold to the bitches.
Dude, if
you can't have any compassion.
Nah, it's super cold.
You can't have any compassion for these poor downtrodden sex workers that you beat.
Coke, yeah.
That you beat mercilessly.
Dude, the first woman he tricked into having sex with strangers for him was he tricked an underage woman to fuck an older guy. And like that's the first time.
Funny that's how they dress too for their job. Like pimps, you just wear.
I think you want to be kind of like inconspicuous.
Outrageous outfits. I guess when you're taking advantage of other human beings, you have to like dress like a cartoon character.
I think so.
So everybody, like, you ever see slave owners? All dressed like ridiculous. Like, hello, how are you? It's like, this guy can't be up to no good.
I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. When you're doing something absolutely morally heinous,
truly evil.
Yeah, it helps to have like dressed like Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just be like, I'm not going to think about the horrible things I'm doing to women. Dude, at the time, too, like, women would, like, their husbands would die in a factory, and they would just be, like, on survival mode. And here comes some dude dressed like Prince, dude, and would just be like, I'll take care of you.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you, bitch.
And then it was funny, too, that's also how, like, Stonewall Jackson got his nickname.
Really?
Yeah, they were, like, firing cannons, and he was just standing there. Yeah. Because he was also nuts.
His nerves are probably shot.
The exact same origin of a nickname was some pimp getting shot in the head, and then someone was like, he just stood there cold as ice. Same thing. In the Civil War, Stonewall Jackson was just standing there and like, look at Jackson standing like a stone wall.
Oh.
Ice cold. They were so close to switching nicknames.
Oh, that would have been crazy,
he's like, he just stood there like a stone wall.
Damn. Stonewall is a sick
Stonewall
pimp.
Slim.
Stonewall Slim.
Iceberg Jackson.
Damn.
Could have been, yeah.
Oh, dude, another world.
Another time, man.
Some other ball of reflected light, dude. There could be.
There's a Stonewall Berg. Wait, what?
But yeah, dude, it was that was crazy. It was the whole stories really were just like shit like that, and then I would eventually get robbed at gunpoint, lose all my money.
Yeah.
Back to the day.
How'd that feel getting robbed at gunpoint?
Kind of surreal. First time. The guy got robbed. Well, that was that was all right. So that was the one dude that the junior. And,
oh wait, you didn't tell me about he was hanging out with the pimp. The other guy.
That was just a sad situation. That was just an old man, really nice guy who just got addicted to cocaine and then kind of like got really sick and amazing. It was a fucked up thing to watch. He had like little kids and stuff. I wasn't selling him cocaine.
Me?
Huh?
Noah's over there pointing at me like I'm on this path. I don't do that junk.
No, this guy was the man. He was a really nice dude. He just loved that powder, bro.
Yeah.
And he had, beautiful, little girls and shit, and just slowly. I remember like, dude, this was weird because the guy was like, he was older than me. He was in his 50s.
Yeah.
He would like bust his scale out, and I would see the powder on it, and I go, bro. I'm like 23 at the time. I'm like, yo, bro. And he's like, don't fucking blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's kind of fucked up what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I'm fine. Although he had a sick tradition where he would tell his wife that once a year, he would say, this is the guy. He'd go, I'm going to be gone for 10 days. And he would just shack up, dude, in a hotel room.
Just
break out the 8-balls, call the girls, call the pimps.
Call the pimps and
you're
girls.
just calling all pimps, dude. I have 10 days.
I'm here.
He claimed, he's like, I need like a 10-day absolute just like Dionysus binge to keep my sanity once a year. And it was just like, dude, I guess I can respect it.
Yeah.
Dude ruled. He went to jail when he was really young. And while in jail, he went to jail for coke. And while in jail, his brother used to, it was like not that big of a town. And his brother would just lace bags of coke into a tennis ball and just hoof it over the wall of the prison. And he would just be in the yard and a tennis ball would drop and he'd pick it up. And he's like, dude, I made more money selling coke in jail than I did outside.
Holy shit.
Then he started a successful landscaping company.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude's a man. There's a lot of, you meet a lot of weird people. A lot of fucking.
Wonder how they felt about you. I guess some guy came in and started talking to me about light. Some fucking college kid just
Stonewall. I was the old Stonewall, dude. But yeah, dude, it was. But the weirdest thing was, so when I was, and this is like the height of everything. So now I'm like 19.
Do you feel comfortable talking about how much money you were making at all?
Yeah, because I lost it all, so
yeah.
It's not a big deal. But like around 19. So I had half pound of weed was going swell. I found.
Now, when you get a half pound of weed, and how much do you buy it for?
I was at the time it was like $1,600 for.
And how much do you sell it for?
I mean, $1,600. So that's what
$200.
$200 an ounce you're buying it for, and you're selling it for like $240, $250. And then if you're breaking it all the way down, it's like you're selling each ounce for $320. So think if you're just say $400. If you buy a pound of weed for $1,600, it was $32. If you sold everything for $400, you'd make like $800. But yeah, so so that dude, you're talking to a 19-year-old who was making $60 a day.
Yeah,
you make $800 in a week. I was just like, oh god,
yeah.
Oh my god, I'm definitely going to the back room at show and tell.
Oh, how was that?
How much is the wishy-washy? That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's actually quite reasonable. But yeah, so that was whatever, and then. That was when I'm, so obviously I had my little half pound thing going on, and then I got to get my wisdom teeth out. That's when my boy was like, dude, you got to get these things. And I was like, what are they? He's like, they're pain pills. Everybody loves them. And I'm like, I'll see it.
Everybody loves them, and it's having fun. This is what year? Like 2008? It's like, things are good.
No, it was even before that.
Oh, really?
So it was like, about 2000.
Yeah, it was back when business was booming. People were like, yo,
back
pills.
before people realized how bad they truly were.
Yeah.
But so I got my wisdom teeth out, and I came out of the surgery, and the lady was like, we're going to give you Advil. And I was like, I need Percocet. She was like, we'll give you Vicodin. And I was like, okay. So then I just sold all of them to my friend. I was like, here, take them. I didn't take it. Dude, when I got my wisdom teeth out, I still fucking rub it in on the old lady. I'm like, I took just Advil, dude.
I sold the fucking things. This was a come up. Yeah. Wisdom teeth surgery, major come up.
I was pumped, dude. I got $200 for nothing, and I had my goddamn wisdom teeth out.
Yeah, you got rid of those fucking things.
They were going to cause me all kinds of problems down the line. So I remember I got those, and they were just. I remember I was like, where are they? He's like, they're gone. Everyone took them. I was like, people like these things, and he's like, can you get more of these? And I was like, well, let me see. And then I went to this bar.
You got your other teeth removed?
No, there was a bar we used to drink at when I went to school, and it was like it was in the hood, and they didn't card anybody, so all the freshmen would go drink in this bar that was like just up in the fucking hood, and so I was just sitting there. I would go there every Monday. I would go there, and obviously, dude, I'm showing out in there too. So it was show and tell. There was this one. It was called this lounge. I think it's closed down now. But there's this lounge on Lancaster Ave. I would go up there and just show out, dude, and get fucking hammered, buying tequila shots. I would have a ball. So it was like $2 shots. So I'll go there and ball out. So I got friendly with the bartender, and I'm like, hey, buddy. Hey, barkeep. Can you get me pills? And the guy was just like, he's seen all these college kids. This guy's eyes light up. He goes, I can get you whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. We should strike a deal.
Deal.
So I strike a deal with this guy, And he's like, how many do you want? And I'm like, I'll take as many as you can have. And he's like, I can literally get you as many as you want. And I was like, so I told a couple of meeting of the generals. I'm like, how many of these things do you guys want? They're like, literally, we'll take as many as you want.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I called the guy. I'm like, what's the most you can do? And he was like, I can give you like 3,000 Vicodin. And I was like, huh? And at the time, it was $1 a milligram. So like, if it was a 10 milligram, people would pay $10 and sometimes more. You know. So I was like, how much?
Christ,
dude, $3. It was like, I think I paid $2.50 a milligram. So I was getting these jugs from the fucking pharmacy. They were labeled like, it was fucked up. And this guy, I would just give this dude my money, and then he would just walk around the block, and he'd come back with a shopping bag full of like the shit you see when you're at the pharmacy that's back in the back. And I was like, what the fuck? So I would get rid of them, and I had this thing going where I was getting thousands of these things. And, you know, it was going pretty swell. And they were just, I watched this over the course of like a year. It was about, well, it didn't last that long, but it was over the course of a year. But like my little scheme I had going on, eventually that guy claimed to have gotten robbed. So he comes back in. I'm expecting to see a shopping bag full of like illegal pills. And he's like, I got fucking robbed. You set me up. He's like, 2 little black kids came up in my car and robbed me. And I was just like, you know, I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, I don't know any little black kids that rob adults, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? And he was like, somebody fucking did. And he cocked a gun. And he was like, someone has to pay for this. And I'm sitting there like, that's when it was just full on like total out of body experience.
Last night was a movie.
Yeah, last night was
a movie.
But my roommate, God bless the guy, came down. I think I talked about this before. The guy I was living with, who I'd always like, he'd always complain that I would like jerk off with like weird lubes in the shower. So he'd get in the shower.
Slip?
I was bothering him already. Dude.
Yeah.
Like we'd have parties where we'd spray the fire hydrant or the fire extinguisher.
I've got a roommate with the lube problem. Really fucking bothers me.
You get on the shower, you're like,
I'll stand up from taking a crap. Like my foot will slide. I'll be like fucking jerking off with coconut oil.
Oh.
Drying off.
Yeah, I was hitting some hard Vaz sessions. So Vaseline hits the water and just coats it's like an epoxy.
Yeah,
just coats the floor. So we were already kind of on odds. I was just selling all kinds of drugs out of the house, jerking off willy nilly, having a good old time, dude. And he was already kind of at wit's end with me. And he comes in from class, and there's just a guy in our apartment pointing a gun at me. And he was like, ah! And just fucking runs. And the guy was like, ugh, and he kind of panicked, and he got out of there. And then we made up. So then I go back to the bar. You know, we're still whatever. And I was like, we'll hang out, but I'm not giving you any money up front.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
So, and then I watched it at this place, the apartment complex. There was like all these people living there who were all just gobbling up pill, like just, you know, there was just an ocean of pills unleashed here. They were just and again, at this point I had never taken them. And then I just start watching, like at one point I'm sitting there, you know, and everything's going pretty swell. I kind of ate the money on the thousands of pills, but we have done it so many times that I was like, I was relieved, honestly. I'm like, that was too nerve-wracking. And then like one night I was sleeping at my parents' house, and my friend calls me. He's like, you got to come here. And I was like, what? I'm like, it's 3 a.m. He was like, I think we've been robbed. Because everything was like in this little apartment complex. And I go over there, and there was like a screen. There's a hole cut in the screen. It was like on the 2nd story. So I was like, all right, someone didn't climb up here. They came up through the door and jumped out. We had this shoebox that was just full of fucking drugs. I didn't ever talk about this before. It was, dude, there was like an ounce of coke in the shoebox, tons of pills, all kinds of stuff. There's money in there. And so I go up, and I'm like, and at this time, one of my top lieutenants got a drug pill babe. So he's like dating like a hardcore drug addict. Like both these guys. And I didn't know. I knew they were partying. Like, dude, these were like chicks who would do like Ambien and coke, and then like just pass out. Like they would just like stay up as long as they could on Ambien. Like they would just like collapse on the floor.
Jeez.
So these
Louise.
I'm at college, dude. I'm getting an education. Yeah. There's an apartment. There was like 4 units all next to each other, full of kids about the same age who just got linked through drugs, who just started having these like ridiculous parties.
Yeah.
Like just white trash, Great Gatsby, dude. It was just like horrible. It was just him, Leo with pills, dude. Like, so he's dating this girl, and I knew they were like partying kind of hard. And I remember being like, oh, you know, I was like, whatever. Some people, I guess, just party like that. And you know, my friend called. I go up there. He's like fucking like looks like he's been up for multiple days. And I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, dude, like, someone just broke in through the door and cut a fucking hole in the screen. Like, I don't think someone like climbed in through your screen. And the screen was even kind of pushed in a certain way that like the way they were saying it, because his girlfriend was there and was like, somebody came in and just robbed the place. And I'm like, your girlfriend stole everything.
Yeah.
No, she didn't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where is she? And he was like, you know, she's I don't know, but they're probably at 7. He was like, she's not here. She's at 7-Eleven. So like we're driving up there. So
Thanks, Sev.
No, this is out near Brookhaven.
Okay.
They were on the border of Chester. So we drive up to the 7-Eleven in like Chester Upland, and sure enough,
She's in there
her
standing
outside with some fucking dude named Jeff, motherfucker. So we go up there, and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, we had to get out of there. I'm like, bullshit. Like, you guys are lying. I know it.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, man, it's my girlfriend. I'm like, trust me, but scrub that. But I'm like, yeah, like, this girl definitely, you know, robbed everything. And so I like, dude.
Mark what time that is.
Yeah. So we go out there, and so I drive him back, and I'm like, dude, I know. And they finally say, all right, yeah, we did take it, but like people did come in there, and we wanted to get it out of there for you guys. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Show me where it is. Where I needed the shoebox.
Yeah.
So the apartment complex is surrounded by a fence and like the woods. So it's like 3 a.m, dude. I had to we hop this fence, and I'm out there with this fucking. Both of them are coked out of their cords.
Sure.
So I'm in the woods with this guy. He's coked out of his fucking mind, and we have just like our flashlights or phone, or I forget how we're flashing it. Then I find the shoebox, and obviously, like, all the coke's gone. It's just there, but, you know, severely reduced.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, literally. I don't know where it is. Dude, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, thanks for showing
You
me.
ever hear about that bear that ate that cocaine?
No.
There was one of those shipments that they would just drop in the woods. Like drug dealers would drop it, and then somebody would go pick them up. A bear got into it and ate like a kilo of coke.
Fuck.
And like had a heart attack. It was like sprinting through the woods. Just a fucking monster bear.
That was this dude, but it was like a guy who was 160 pounds and just fucking like outside of a Seb, just like, it's like, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. So I I reclaim my little shoebox, which has been severely reduced. I'm like, God damn it. And then I hop the fence. It was, one of many downfalls, but so we hop over the fence, and then I get in my car, and dude, all of a sudden, like, there's people outside. They're screaming at each other. Apparently, this shoebox just went around that little party circuit. So there's just like maybe 30 people who are just on the most drugs possible.
Yeah.
And I'd be
like, where's the showbox?
Yeah. Where's the Reebok box? And then there's like, dude. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yo, I'm out of here. And my friend's like, she didn't fucking. He was all fucked up. I know that. I know she didn't fucking blah blah blah. I'm like, whatever, bro. I'm leaving.
Damn.
Like,
So they stole it, went to a 7-Eleven, and had a fucking party.
No, they had the party, and then they once I guess they found out that he discovered that something was amiss, so they concocted this crazy scheme. But then I guess Big Papa was coming up, dude.
Oh,
See what's what, dude.
Yep.
They knew fucking Ice was coming up, dude.
Iceberg. Well, you should have brought out the wire. You should have been slapping him for that.
Yeah, dude.
Hitting him on the
I should have.
push.
I should have fucking wrote a letter to myself and one of my bitches, dude. No, I just came up and was like, whatever. I was always ready to lose all of it because I was like, this is kind of a bother. Yes. I was like, this is really dangerous and annoying. But so I got out of there. I was like, dude, fuck this. I'm out. You can stay if you want. The cops will be here in about 10 seconds. I can't. Because it was a big complex. There's people working and shit. So I'm like, dude, I'm out of here. So I leave. I'm just driving away, and I get to the bottom of the little thing. I hear he came to his senses. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here too, dude. That night the cops came, fucking arrested a ton of people. It was pretty bad. And that's when I realized oh shit, this is really really bad.
Yeah.
I threw away. There was drugs, and I said these are bad for business. And I just threw them away.
Good.
I threw away an ounce of coke once.
Good.
Just went, nah, I don't want this shit, bro.